Super Retro Force.
Now, in the world of video games, few characters have left an extraordinary mark as much as Lara Croft. From her inception in 1996, she has certainly evolved, but not just in appearance, but more in complexity and significance. And of course, she began as a groundbreaking character, pioneering the early days of 3D gaming. But as the world changed, so did Lara. So join me as I peel back the many layers of Lara Croft, exploring her transformation, her impact over the decades, and more importantly, uncovering the truth behind this icon. Our adventure begins in the mid-90s, a time when gaming was taking its first steps into the 3D world. It was 1996 when core designer Eidos Interactive introduced the world to a new kind of adventurer, otherwise known as Lara Croft.
Let's do this.
Lara was unlike any other character we had seen. With her acrobatic skills, dual pistols, and a distinctive British accent, she was quickly carving her place in gaming history. Lara's design with her sharp edges and her over-exaggerated features might seem primitive by today's standards, but back then it was absolutely groundbreaking. In fact, it was her confidence and her no-nonsense attitude that marked the beginning of the adventure in the world of gaming. A year later, gamers were blessed with Tomb Raider 2 in 1997, where Lara's adventures were expanded. And through this, Lara's character remained strong and adventurous. But now she was also exploring her motivations as well as history more deeply. But by the time Tomb Raider 3 arrived in 1998, the series had solidified its place in gaming culture. This era of Lara Croft is characterised by her fearless nature, and she also defined what it meant to be a video game hero, especially in the 90s.
You know what that means.
As the new millennium dawned, Lara's journey took a darker turn. Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation in 1999 set the stage for a more serious and introspective Lara. This game aimed to delve deeper into Lara's personal history, but it also marked the beginning of the end, where the tried and tested formula of the previous titles was starting to wear thin for most gamers. Despite the decline, it was in the year 2000 that Tomb Raider Chronicles found itself being released, trying its best to keep the series alive. While it provided some interesting insights into Lara's earlier escapades, the game itself felt somewhat fragmented. But eventually, a dark cloud would loom over the series. I am of course referring to Angel of Darkness, which went for a much more darker and more mature theme. The game introduced new mechanics like stealth and RPG elements, but it was plagued by poor controls, numerous bugs, and an overall lack of polish. But despite its flaws, the Angel of Darkness did at least attempt to deepen Lara's character, exploring her vulnerabilities as well as personal struggles. This period was tough for Lara Croft fans, especially those that grew up with this beloved character, but it was 3 short years that the game received a much needed reboot.
Whoa, nice graphics. I'd like to get my hands on that game.
Thanks to this reboot, the series saw a resurgence with Tomb Raider fans, even gaining a whole new legion of supporters. Lara's character continued to be fully explored in Tomb Raider Anniversary, as well as Tomb Raider Underworld, which continued the storyline from Legend. This era of Lara Croft was marked by a balance of action, adventure and character development, making her more multidimensional. In this trilogy, if you will, gamers got to see a more personal side of Lara, as well as uncovering her family's history. As great as this was, gamers and fans were still wanting more from the series, and it was with the 2013 reboot that Lara received her most significant transformation. Rise of the Tomb Raider and Shadow of the Tomb Raider continued this arc, delving deeper into Lara's psyche as well as her motivations. This version of Lara Croft is often praised for her relatability and a realistic portrayal of a young woman forced into extraordinary circumstances, even making a choice when it came to crossing that certain line.
Get down.
So here's a question for everybody watching. Which version of Lara Croft is the best overall? Each version of Lara brings something unique to the table. The classic era gave us a confident heroine who defined a generation of gamers. The darker times, while flawed, attempted to deepen her character and explore new dimensions. Whereas the Crystal Dynamics reboot revitalized the series with updated graphics and an engaging storyline. But it was the modern reboot that transformed Lara into a much more relatable as well as emotionally complex character that resonated with modern audiences. And when putting each version of Lara against one another, I would have to say in my opinion that the best Lara is the one from the modern reboot. This version combines the best elements of all of her previous iterations, while also adding layers of emotional depth and realism that make her a truly compelling character for today's gamers. But what do you guys think? Which version of Lara Croft is your favourite? Let me know in the comments. But anyway, come back next time where I take a look at the origin stories of a certain fighter from the Street Fighter series. Thank you so much for watching and see you next game.